Oh, hello. Like we've not
Hello.
talked about it. Um,
Yeah.
okay. Um, yeah. So I'm first gonna ask you who you are and what you do, basically, in
Yeah.
that sense.
Absolutely. So, hello, my name is Kian O'Callaghan. I've recently just come off the debut play that I wrote, directed, acted in, called Leave It to the Maid, which was on in South Kensington, in a theatre called the Drayton Arms. And my little background, I've always been obsessed with acting, like obsessed since I was probably about 5 or 4. My parents put me in a local like drama class called Leap. And that's when I found out that I loved acting, and that's what I wanted to do. So went to college, went to study it further, and yeah, I was in a COVID year, unfortunately. So a lot of my classes were on Zoom like this. I was very used to this technology. And then, yeah, one day I just decided to start writing, start making a project for me and my friends to act in. Yeah.
So the aim was to act, not necessarily to write, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so it was really funny. When I started writing, I told my family I was writing a play, and I remember my nan in particular saying, "What you don't strike me as a writer, like because I used to really struggle with English and writing and like GCSE and everything." And when I was like, "Yeah, I'm writing a play," and they were all so shocked, and I was even shocked myself that I started to. But yeah, I think the main aim was for me to act in it. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Can you tell us a little bit about the show itself? Leave it to the maid.
Yeah. So Leave It to the Maid is a murder mystery. And how the idea all started was colours. So kind of a bit like Cluedo. I just had colours in my head. And then I associated the colours with names. So we had Rose Chroma, we had Grayson Chroma, but everyone called him Grey, Coal, Amber, Olive, Sergeant Indigo. And with all of these names, they all kind of developed a bit of a character. So with Olive, it was very like really high up, like a mothery kind of name. And I hate olives. I'm not a big fan, so sorry to anyone who's watching who is olive lover. But I think that made me write her in quite like a I don't know how to word it, kind of like a bad way and quite like a dislikable character in a way. And yeah, I never really planned for it to be a murder mystery, but as soon as I started writing, I was like, it needs to be a murder mystery. Like, and I really wanted to make the audience think and kind of like evaluate their lives. So it's very much of like who I kind of wanted the audience to judge the characters, judge them, and then in the second act, kind of play on that, be like, oh, you judge them, but they're actually nicer than what you think. So that classic saying of "Don't judge a book by its cover."
Yeah, I really like that idea actually. I didn't even realize about the colors. Like that's like now I'm really replaying the whole play in my head. Um, but that's that's exactly it, and it's incredibly clever. I love that play so much.
Oh,
Um,
thank you so much.
um, like you said, the audience, you wanted them to evaluate what was going on, judge the characters, and I'm guessing try to pick up an ending and try and guess where the whole play was coming from.
Yeah,
'Cause, I mean, that's kind of what people do during murder mystery plays, right?
yeah,
But what I like particularly about this play was that the first act, you're kind of like building yourself an idea of who the characters are, and like you said, trying to understand well who they are and what they could have, like the impact that they have on the actual story. But the second act of the play, just like he said, it threw everything into question, but not so much that it became confusing, which is something that I really, really enjoyed.
oh, thank you.
Like you said,
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
sorry. No, no, go on.
I was just going to say one line that really stuck out to me in particular. An audience member actually picked it up, and she said that basically Indigo in the second act kind of sums the characters up, and it's like it's always the obvious one that you it's so obvious you overlook, and then you got or it's the one you don't suspect at first, but then you start suspecting, or the one you suspect at first, but then you doubt, and one of the audience members said that's exactly what she was thinking, and it was kind of like me and Abby had both like kind of written it to kind of mold it in a way where it's like we know what you're thinking, so it's we're going to change that completely. Like we're going to throw that on its head, throw it upside down, throw it everywhere.
That's yeah. Um, that's exactly what happened in my head. Like I had a clear idea of who I knew was going to be it. Um,
Mm,
but then like as the play went on, I realized it could be the obvious answer because you're expecting us to overlook it.
yeah.
And I guess it kind of was, but not too much that it was like, oh, well, that's it. It was like that that ending. Oh, I'm not gonna spoil it because it needs to come back at some point, and
Yes, absolutely. All of the cast and crew keep asking me to bring it back, and one day.
well, you can bet I'll be front and center for that.
Oh,
Um,
thank
so you said that you drew your inspiration a bit from Cluedo. Was there anything else like novels that you read as a child or anything else that you drew inspiration from?
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of all murder mysteries, and I think everyone always has that one murder mystery that stays in their heads because I mean Agatha Christie, like she wrote some amazing ones. And I knew writing this play that I couldn't be too original, like because the assets and what people love about the murder mysteries is kind of like the timeline and when things happen and what kind of happens and kind of like the stereotypes. So I really tried to indulge myself in a lot of like different murder mysteries and try to like make a little nod to all of them that have come before. So kind of play like homage to all of them. And then of course add my little twist right at the end. But yeah, so I think I really drew inspiration from that and also from the actors. Because when they did the first read through, I was teaching college, and I would always get them to read in little bits. I'm like, oh, could you just quickly read? And it was their voices that just changed the lines completely. Like they added so much depth to all of the lines that I really wanted to carry that on, and I really wanted to take what they were bringing to the characters and celebrate that and make it more and make more little moments. And I think that's what I really love. Like I loved like Isabel who played Olive. Like I loved how some of the things she said made me chuckle so much. So I was like, oh, I really need to add that in. And Aaron playing Cole, like I was like, oh, I really like this like mysterious vibe. And all of them, like Ben, Rosie, all of them, and Gemma, they all did such a good job at bringing me, like showing me little bits that they took my idea and then they ran with it, and I loved it. I love watching it.
Yeah, honestly, even to an audience member, you could tell that all of you were having so much fun on stage, and
Yeah,
it it was just incredible because it felt like a real actual family treating a very tough story. Because like it, ironically, the family situation in that play is not the best.
yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to ask about the casting process. How it
the
you the casting project
oh
process. How did it go for you?
yeah, so it was really good because I kind of had in my head who I wanted to bring because I really wanted to share this with my friends so we could all be like we've done our first debut up in London together, and so I knew I had um like four actors in particular, Rosie, Ben, Aaron, and Isabel. And originally, I was going to get Isabel to play the maid slash detective. Because where I wrote it, I was like thinking, oh, that could work really well. And then as soon as she read Olive, because what I used to do at college is I used to be like, right, I'll be all of the male parts, she be all of the female parts. And when she read Olive, I was like, this is brilliant. Like it's too good, like not to include you as Olive. So I changed that, and then I was like, right, I really need a maid. And I was thinking, oh, who do I have? Who do I have? And I've acted with Gemma before. And I called her up one day and I was asking her, I was like, would you be up for playing the maid? And I think the idea at the beginning kind of scared her. She was a bit like, I don't know what I'm signing myself up for and everything. And I said, just come along for one read through, kind of knowing or hoping that she could carry on being the maid. So I had that, but I was like, look, one read through. If you really don't like it, you really don't have to do it. And then she read the character, and me and Abby both fell in love with how she brought such an innocence to her, and I haven't really seen that with many of like the victims of murder mystery. I've never really seen like an innocent side, like where they're really really innocent, and you kind of see their side of things. Um, yeah, and then Abby said to me when I was writing the detective, she was reading it and she was like, Kian, I think you should play the detective because you kind of know a lot about him because all of the stage directions. She said I can really see you playing him and I can really see you in the mindset of him. So I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. Like I'll play the detective. And then Lily, we actually found very late in the process. And it was coming into show week, it was all a bit stressful. And we were like, well, we really need a Sergeant Indigo, really, really need one. We were contacting a lot of different people who to find. And then it was one night, and I'll always remember this night. Me and Abby, we were up all night and we were like sending messages back and forth of suggestions. And we were thinking, maybe them, or because it's really hard once you got like a big cast who would fit well with that chemistry, with the looks, because you didn't want them to look too old, too young. And then Abby said, oh, I've got Lily, who played a police officer before. Now, me and Abby didn't know Lily before that. And we were like, and I just felt like it was right. And Abby probably thought I'd gone mad because I said, yeah, we're going to sign up Lily. And Abby was like, are you sure? Like, we've got all of these options. Are you sure you want to like go for this girl you don't know, you've never met? And I said, yes, something felt right. And then we had a Zoom call with her. And when she was talking, I could just tell the passion and everything. And when she left the Zoom call, me and Abby stayed on, and we were just saying like how right that decision was. Like we were saying, we really need her. Like she was just a perfect fit. She came into the rehearsals and she kind of knew all the lines already. She'd done so much research and she was the perfect fit. Like she just came in and she was like family already, which is quite hard, I feel like, coming into one where the group's been pre-established, like we all got our history, and then she comes in and she's got none of that, and she's trying to make it, and she didn't feel like an outcast whatsoever, and I had so much fun working with her.
Yeah, like you said, even to an audience member, like she did not at all stand out in that way, which is good. Um, and I mean, you told me that about 10 days ago when we met. And I was actually kind of surprised that she came in so late into the process.
Yeah, yeah,
That must have been kind of stressful as well for you, I'm guessing. It's like you're building a
yeah,
play and you're about to perform it and you need to find a replacement.
definitely. And someone who can like make a lot of the rehearsals beforehand, make that whole week of the show, and especially to people who didn't really know what to expect because, of course, everyone knew me and whatnot, and they were, and I think everyone was like, Keane's writing something, Keane's putting something on in London. And I just feel like it was such a gamble, it's such a risk for everyone who signed up for. And that's what I'm so grateful for when everyone said, yes, absolutely, sign us up. It was just so lovely. And yeah, and it was just so stressful. I think we were searching for about a week or 2 weeks, and we were really, really getting stressed out to the point where Abby did think I'd gone mad because she was like, surely there are other options. But yeah, something just felt right with Lily.
Great. I want to ask about the rehearsal process. What was it like for you? Because I mean, a play like this, it must have taken months, if not a couple years, to get ready for like a stage debut.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So it did take a very long time from like day one of writing. Because I started in December, and then the first day was like late August that we performed. So the first read through happened, and there was so many editing and writing, and I was feeling, oh, I don't know what to do. And originally we weren't even going to put this on. So it was kind of just for a bit of creativity, a bit of like a relaxed, a bit of different, because we hadn't really done much contemporary plays before, or ones that had been written recently. And then it was, I think it was Gemma and Abby. They stayed around my house after the third read through or something, and they said we need to put this on, and I was like, oh, okay. And I'd never done anything like this before, and I was like, oh, where do I even start? Um, and and I just sat down one day and I was like, right, this is what I need to do. And I kind of had a list of everything that needs to get done. And found a theatre. They fell in love with us, and I fell in love with them. Went to go see the theatre because another friend was performing in there. And I was like, oh, it's such a lovely place. Had a little interview with Audrey. She was so up for it. And yeah, so then all of the rehearsals were coming in. And I think what made it easier, the rehearsals, was because we were friends, or we were all friends before. The rehearsals kind of went into a bit of a social hangout, especially at the beginning. And there was a lot of laughing, a lot of jokes, a lot of talking, so much talking. But then when we're getting nearer and nearer to the day, you could just see everyone. And my old drama teacher used to call it the Zoom phase. And I really feel it. It's when everything just starts all lining up, like all the costumes are coming, all of the props are sorted, all of the set and everything's all coming together. And I just saw everyone change, and everyone really get into that like professional side and really delve in deep and really focus. And Aaron, he broke his toe. So just when we had Lily, we had everything sorted, and we were like, "Gosh, this is going a bit too well, if anything." And then one night, Aaron, one of the actors, he FaceTimed me, we don't really FaceTime, and so I knew something was going wrong, and he just said, Kian, and turned around the camera straight away. He didn't even tell me, and I just saw his foot in a cast, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, what do we do? Like I think the play was in about 2 weeks. We knew the boot wasn't going to come off him, and we were thinking, oh my gosh, what do we do? But I just had such a great cast and crew that no matter what went wrong or anything, I don't like we were all in it together, so we all helped each other out, which I think is really good, and it was such a strong team. And when we got to the theatre that Monday, everything fell into place, and all of the actors were just so up for it, and yeah.
Honestly, yeah, it's like you said, it's a really important part of it all, like being friends with everyone you work with and having a positive environment to work in, especially for something as strong as a debut play,
Yeah,
which can be daunting and terrifying to anyone who doesn't know what they're getting themselves into. So having
yeah,
such an important team around you is just it's it's necessary, and it's probably the only thing that will help you get through it. So
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, praise goes in particular to Abby. Like Abby, just like at first she signed up. She didn't even know what the title was. I didn't even know what her title was going to be. And wherever I needed her, she came in. Like she at first the read through, she was writing notes, and then she kind of became into like she was helping me write some characters because she's an author, so she knew a lot about all of these different things, which I didn't. Like I was so out of my depth. And yeah, um, I was just so out of my depth, and she just helped out with everything we did, really, which was just amazing. Yeah, so praise does go in particular to Abby for that.
You all right?
Yeah, sorry, just hectic,
Okay.
hectic house.
No, I'm just making sure you're okay. So you're now working on a new play. Is there anything that you can tell us about it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just the exciting thing. So I can give you like a little bit like a synopsis in a way. So it's a bunch of uni students, like they're all friends, and you find out that they haven't really met each other for quite some time, and they've signed up for like a murder mystery escape room. And during the play, you start to find out that all of their secrets are slowly starting to be exposed in the game, and you start to think, are whose secrets are strong enough to kill? Like whose secrets, who is willing to kill their secret to remain a secret? And what I love is you've got like employees, and you're like, are they involved? Are they not? Are they like? And everyone, all of the characters, they just have such a different characteristic, kind of like in Leave It's the Maid, where where they all where they all shine in their own way, and it really makes you question every character, really.
It sounds, I've told you this already, but this plot has been like going around in my head for weeks. I am so excited to see it because
Oh,
it's
thank you.
it's one of those things like murder mysteries. It's been done before. Everyone has seen at least one. Everyone pretty much knows where it's gonna go. But
Yeah,
finding ways of readapting plays and making them your own is just, and it's becoming harder and harder because so many of them are coming out and
yeah,
come out already. So it's
yeah, absolutely. And we haven't really seen too many like modern day ones, so we were really excited with the idea of have like setting it in the modern day, and really getting like almost where it feels really real, where like the audience have been like, oh my gosh, like I can relate so much to that character and their struggles.
it's definitely exciting. Is there, do you have any idea when you're planning to perform it, or
Yeah, so we kind of want it roughly the same sort of time as Leave It to Me because we love that time frame. And we know that all of the actors are like up for that date. We know they're all prepared for that date. So it would be late August, early September time. Yeah, so in the summer, nice weather.
definitely something to look out for?
Yeah.
Thank you for answering our questions and
Oh,
for
thank you
coming
so
down.
much for
Oh,
having me.
it was great. Um,
Yeah.
thank you.